Do you understand what intellectual is? Intellectual is a person who inspires you to think independently. You don't have people like that in America. So or in Britain. Sorry?
So everybody here thinks independently?
No, you stopped thinking. You just gave up on thinking. And this is why you missed the beginning of the talk, and this is why you didn't notice when you reduced into consumers. This is where we started. I say, how is it possible that we reduced into consumers and we don't have dissent without a single academic, politician, or media outlet elaborating on the deterioration of our society? What we have from American academia is a tedious discourse about diversity and all this nonsense that doesn't lead anywhere. Real diversity is that all of us are one in spite of our differences. Now, and correct me if this is kind of a new insight that I have, and I have to check it out because I'm not American. When I talk to young Americans, they all tell me, the first thing that they tell me, you know, I'm Irish, German. 30 years ago, I met Americans. I never knew a thing about them. I knew where they came from New York, from Austin, and so on. Now, they split you more and more and more. So when you go to drink something in the bar, you say, "Oh, shall I drink vodka? I'm Russian. No, maybe Guinness. I'm eighth Irish." They break you. They break you and break you and break you and break you and break you. And it's about time to stop and to think what is really important. It happened to you recently. In August, you were supposed to send your kids and daughters to fight another Zionist war in Syria. It didn't happen. It didn't happen not because the left set demonstrations and you had like tens of millions of people in the street. No. There was a shift of consciousness. There is a shift of consciousness. I'm part of this shift of consciousness. I'm probably more successful in France at the moment than in America. I'm part of this shift of consciousness because I'm starting to understand it myself. It wasn't the activists or the progressives who stopped the war. Your military realized that they don't know what kind of war they are supposed to fight. And many people said, no, we don't want to fight another Jewish war. But your administration still didn't know how to evade this idiotic war. It was very clear to me that Obama wasn't enthusiastic. Eventually, he had to come with a very, very convoluted argument, and thanks God for him doing it. I loved him again. He said, if you, Jewish lobby, want us to fight your war, you'll have to come to help us in the capital. And it helped. The Jews, oh, no, it's okay, we don't have to fight. But try to think, is your president, the president of America, has to use such an embarrassing tactics just in order to avoid an idiotic Zionist war? Wow. I'm not an activist, obviously, and I don't tell people what to do. I'm not a politician, but I have an advice for you, if you are interested. You still say no, so I assume that you don't mind. I don't believe in demonstrations. I don't believe in pickets. In 2003, we had 4 million people in the street in London. We went, we shouted, then it ended 8 o'clock in the evening. We went to Japanese food, and a week later, we had a war. 1 year later, in 2004, it was clear that around 1 million Iraqis died, and nobody jumped into the street. We all say, oh, I was against it. This is what the left is giving us. It's not good enough. I mean, contemporary left. All this progressive practice or agenda is actually a form of control opposition. As I said, identity politics dismantle dissent and prepare the ground for globalization, for corporate culture, for the reduction of us into consumers. There is one thing that you could do, and this will bring a change. You have in your constitution a small segment. It is called the First Amendment. It suggests that you, American, are entitled to think freely and express yourself freely. This guy, Trevor, who is a beautiful human being, a beautiful humanist, he says what he believes. He may be wrong. I don't think that he is wrong. He is under heavy terror campaign. You have to help him. And you have also yourself to join him and say what you believe. And when you start to say what you believe, you will see very soon that a lot of people are annoyed. And this is exactly what you want. You want to annoy. I'm very, very annoying. I could even join the Viet Cong in Hanoi. no. Yeah, I'm very, very annoying. I'm very, very annoying. But I make people think. I make people think. A lot of people buy my books. And this is what we need now. We need to relaunch a thinking project. And this would lead into liberation. I said everything I had to say. It's now your...
How many thinkers are there now in the jazz world? Because we deal with more abstract music and abstract, kind of out of the box to begin with. So.
Let me tell you something tragic. Look, I don't know how many jazz lovers we have in this room. Jazz was your biggest cultural asset. Where is it? Look what happened to it. When I listen to jazz, when I start to play jazz, I love the sound of it. Coltrane made me cry. Bird, Ella. We spoke about Frankfurt School, you reduced jazz from beauty into an academic apparatus. So instead of playing jazz, you institutionalize it. So you can take 50,000 quid a year teaching people to play bebop like computers so they can make 30 quid, 30 bucks a night, sorry.
He's taking jazz.
Huh?
He's taking jazz.
Sorry to hear. No, you want to play jazz. Who do you like? Who are your favorite musicians?
Trevor.
So pay Trevor 57,000. I'm sorted, I'm kind of a matchmaker.
Free lesson if they would come down to the show. To
Yeah, you see, you learned the Jewish trick.
Yep.
Anyway, this is the issue. We destroyed your biggest cultural asset. How embarrassing it is. It's terrible.
It's alive on Trevor's fingers, though.
But it doesn't sound like a Berkeley graduate. You know why? Because he didn't go to Berkeley. Now, I'm not against Berkeley. Oh, Manis or whatever. But this is not what jazz is all about. A friend of mine, a great musician, told me once, I think that he is actually Canadian, but he said when he's a bit, I think he's my age. He said and it's true for people. I'm 50. When we were young, those who wanted to play classical music went to the Royal School of Music, to the Royal Academy or whatever, to Manis or whatever. And those who wanted to play jazz stayed at home and practice. With all those schools in America, in Britain, in Germany, all over the world, jazz is dead. It sounds like an academic masturbation. Now, I'm not against masturbation. It's very healthy, look at me.
So what elevates masturbation to academic masturbation, if you don't mind me asking?
You sound Scottish. Are you Scottish?
Well, I was the last time I looked.
It's nice. You sound like Shetland, man.
Oh, get away. No.
Where are you from?
I'm from Falkirk. Midway between Glasgow and Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Nice. You make me feel at home. I live in Britain.
I know.
Yeah.
In London?
In London,
Which part?
northwest, Cricklewood.
Oh, okay.
Irish.
Yeah,
Can you hear?
the paddies.
Anyway, it doesn't matter what you ask. What elevates academic into masturbation? To start with, I would say what reduces academia into masturbation, and this is very clear, very, very clear. When we were young, I'm still young, unlike you. When we were young, there was still a very clear dichotomy between activism and scholarship. Activism was an attempt to bring along a nicer world. Scholarship was an attempt to hit the truth, to get at the truth of things. In the new left, post-Frankfurt school, this dichotomy is blurred.